It's your boy Rebel.
It's hype, man. I'm in here. Give me 5 minutes.
What you got?
All right. The other day, I seen Rebel on Twitter
Chilling.
getting attacked.
Oh, yes.
Because Rebel took a small quote from our podcast and he posted it, and then he got attacked.
But I said a lot, though.
Yeah. This might be a little bit longer than 5 minutes.
You know how we get?
If you don't listen to this whole video, please don't comment, okay? Rebel said a man should not have to take care of his kids if he doesn't want to.
No, you done fucked up, don't you? No, don't you? No, you done fucked up.
And he was attacked.
Bashed.
And the reason that I have a problem with him being attacked,
Because nobody took a second to understand what was said.
and because what he said is true.
That too.
A man should not have to take care of his kids if he doesn't want to.
I meant that also from the perspective of, you know, if I didn't even have a say in the fact that this kid is here, how do you, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm going to break it down real quick.
Give it to him.
Morally, a man should always take care of his kids.
Absolutely.
We're talking about as far as the country goes, in a sense. If I get a girl pregnant and I say, I can't wait till we have that kid, and she gets an abortion, there's nothing I can do about that.
Nothing I can do about it.
If I get a girl pregnant and I say, I'm married, I can't have a kid with you, and she says, well, we're having this kid, and she has this kid, there's nothing I can do about it.
Nothing I can do.
If I decide I want nothing to do with this kid and I want to stay married, I still at least have to pay for this kid. So if I have no say-so to where I can't say, I want nothing to do with this kid, or I want everything to do with this kid, and I have no say-so either way, then I shouldn't have to pay the price at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So if we're going to call it where you can get an abortion if you want, I shouldn't be able to do anything about that. But if I don't want to raise a kid that you decide to keep, I shouldn't be obligated to do anything about that.
Exactly, yo. We need a judge to come and say, all right, now, don't show up on his doorstep 10 days later, 10 years later, talking about this your daddy.
Exactly.
If he signed this, he ain't your daddy anymore. The state's your daddy now.
How early did you tell him that you were pregnant? Was it in time to get an abortion?
Did you give him that opportunity?
Exactly. And if I say that I want nothing to do with this kid, I should not have to take care of this kid. And if I should have to take care of this kid, then if I say, I know she's pregnant and I demand that she has my kid, I should have that say-so. I either need to have both say-sos or I need to have neither say-so. And that's all he was saying.
And on the flip side, you shouldn't want to have a kid with a person who doesn't want to take care of their kid.
You should never want to have a kid with someone who doesn't take care of who doesn't want to have a kid. And then women, relationships, you should never be in a relationship with a man who doesn't take care of his kids that has an opportunity to. Okay? So when we say a man shouldn't have to take care of his kids if he doesn't want to, you're thinking, oh, these are just male chauvinists.
Deadbeat dads.
Yeah, deadbeat dads who think that the man shouldn't have any responsibility. No, we're letting you know.
Dig deeper.
That a man who doesn't take care of his kids is not a man that you want to date.
Exactly, he's a piece of shit.
And the reason that he's not a man that you want to date is because if a man has a kid that he has an opportunity to take care of, and he decides to not take care of his kid, he doesn't care about anyone besides himself, and it's because he's incapable of it. So it goes both ways.
Because if you can't care about what you created that you possibly looks like you,
care about anyone.
You can't care about anyone
except for
else.
yourself.
So if you got a man and he got another baby mother and he never see that kid,
you shouldn't be dating him. Leave.
Nothing good can come from that.
I'm going to say it one more time.
Hit him.
If you're dating a man who has children and he doesn't take care of those children, he does not care about you at all.
Zero.
And the reason that he doesn't care about you is because he's incapable of caring about people. He falls in that category of, even if you do care about me, your love is not a reward.
Your love is worthless.
If I love you and me loving you makes me beat you up every night, my love is not a reward. He falls in that category. He may love you, sure.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't know how to treat people that he loves.
That right cross and a kiss is two different things.
You can't care about anyone else in the world if you do not care about your children that you have the opportunity to care about. It's impossible.
And that's what I'm saying. So if you see that, you can't expect for that person to care.
You can't.
So don't put yourself or a kid in that particular situation. He's not going to now start caring about the kid all of a sudden. A person that has a kid that does not care about that kid is the most selfish person on earth. Because you created this. This wasn't something somebody gave you, unless she gave it to you.
Right.
And you didn't want it.
Right.
That's a bit different.
But my thing is, if you're so selfish that you only care about yourself, then you should be so selfish and arrogant that when you create a kid, you should say, wow, look at me. Look at what I did.
Look at that.
I created someone that looks like me. I created someone that talks like me.
And I'm going to teach him to be great.
Exactly. I created someone that if I say, hey, go over there and sit down and shut up, you go do it. You should have enough arrogance if you're that selfish to feel that way, to say, I'm at least going to keep you around because you look like me, you talk like me.
And I like me.
And I like me. And when I tell you to sit down and shut up and this is how you write a W, that's how you write it. You can't be that selfish and not be that arrogant to where you do care about that
so
kid.
Where's the disconnect?
So if there's a disconnect from there, it's just because you don't care about anybody.
Because you're wired wrong.
You're wired
this
wrong.
This is how the wires work.
Yes.
So if you're not getting this or this, that wire is bang.
You shouldn't want to raise your kid with someone like that.
Exactly. That's the key to this point here.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. On the Twitter, all they heard was this deadbeat ass.
No doubt.
Somebody told me, it's like, oh, your father never came back. I said, yeah, he's too busy at your mom's house.
Your kid's life is better off without someone that thinks like that.
Exactly. Because that is like, why? Like,
it's simple as that. I'm arrogant enough to when I make a YouTube video, I care and love that YouTube video. I'm arrogant enough to when I make a child, I care and I love that child.
Because I did it.
Because I'm awesome.
If you're arrogant, that means it's all about me.
How are you selfish but not arrogant? Like, what is it?
It's like, I only give a shit about me.
But I ain't that great. It's like something's wrong with
he's
you.
Wiring
if that's how your brain works.
And you shouldn't want to procreate with somebody whose wiring is all fucked up. Yo.
Look, I have a lot more to say about this.
But we only got 5 minutes.
But I'm fine with as much as we've covered. If there's comments that make us say, you know what, we clearly need to go further, we will do that.
But just understand the point. We're not saying it's okay to be a deadbeat dad.
We're not.
We're saying you shouldn't have someone with deadbeat dad qualities become a dad.
Exactly. And we're saying that I should either have say-so on both ends, or I should be able to say, count me out on both ends.
I either should say, I want this kid, so if you don't want it, give it to me, and I'll take it.
Exactly.
Or, I don't want this kid. If you want it, you
that's on you.
Don't bring it to my house.
Exactly. That's the fair thing to do. And then in rapping, we're saying, no matter what you think as a man, if you have a kid, you should want to take care of that kid.
Appreciate the 5 minutes.
Holla at us, man.